Hello, Frank Weston here again, President, founder of IMSCO, and United Nations mandated organization once we entered the United Nations in 1995. I'm going to cut to the chase on this next statement that I want to make here about our request in a meeting with the African Union here in the United States of America, and in the hope that she would transfer this request, as we've asked for, to have a much bigger one in Ethiopia as soon as possible. We bring stability to Africa as people of African descent. We are probably more powerful than any state, to include China, in terms of the support and the opportunities that we provide for the people of Africa and African people themselves. In fact, they wouldn't even be able to get on a plane if it wasn't for our power, political power and economic power here in this country, because there would be sanctions all over the place on them in order to be able to steal Africa's wealth. We've asked for a meeting with the ambassador here in Washington, D.C. This is August 19th, or 14th rather, of 2019. And we want to meet with her to present her with a copy of the IMSCO Establishment Agreement, which is being signed by a number of countries across Africa that recognizes the power and the contributions that we have, that we make. The American ambassador, as I said in an earlier tape, to Cameroon, is bragging about the amount of support that we have, unknowingly, of course, and that they are using our energy, our power, our wealth shares to do $400 billion deals, and we don't get any recognition whatsoever out of that. That's power that African Americans have here. And I say African Americans, I'm taking this right across the Americas here, from Brazil to Haiti to Jamaica. We all have made all of these things possible, and we're not getting any credit for it. So therefore, we've asked for the African Union to sit down and chat with us so that we can work out a non-hostility plan and way forward. We are in a position, even in the next election that's coming up here in this country, to do great things for Africa. And we're asking the ambassador to sit down with us and let's map out a plan, a point-by-point plan as to how our youth are going to be employed trained, I should say, work shared, wealth shared with every project that they do on that continent. And every dime that goes into Africa, we want to know the accounting of it. Every dollar and every mineral that comes out of Africa, we want to know where it's going and who's using it and what is being paid for, and where necessary, place tariffs and taxes on those that will solely benefit the youth and the education of our people, and especially our elderly, who many of them don't even have a place to live properly in Africa, no running water. We can bring all of these great opportunities tenfold into Africa, and if the ambassador and others are reneging or delaying, not reneging, I'm going to say delaying moving forward, then we'd like to know why. I say to you, we have some evidence, some proof in hand that the officials, representatives of certain governments are sending secret emails into Africa saying, we got to stop Frank Weston, or IMSCO in this case, but don't go after him directly because he will sue us. Go after the people in Africa that he is reaching out to and trying to do business with, not just me, of course, but so many other people. And then we'll cook up something on them so that we can give those contracts. The emails from the State Department employees are saying we can give these contracts to who we want to have these contracts. I have then taken those emails and published them in support of the African Union, in support of Africa, so that they can know the truth about what's taking place in this book called Do You Have a Return Ticket? that was written specifically to help expose the problems that we're having trying to do good deeds and good things on this planet. People of the world, we want to trade and do business with you. African Union Ambassador, please listen to what we're asking. We're asking to sit down and continue to sit down so we can work out plans of action so that we can assist each other in developing our continent and ensuring that an African culture is emergent on that continent, not a Chinese culture, not a European culture, not even an American culture. We don't want that happening. We're asking for cooperation so that we can provide services to the world. We know that we're feeding the world. We know how powerful we are. We know that we're the wealthiest people on the planet. Although many of our African heads of states and people have in fact been misusing this wealth and opportunity, largely because they simply haven't got a clue of what it is that they're dealing with. And our establishment agreement, I'll end with this, our establishment agreement that has been drafted, co-drafted by a number of African countries and signed by a number of African countries. Go on the internet, Google Frank Weston Congo or Frank Weston, how shall I say, Frank Weston and his team here. This is the Cameroon. This is the Cameroon signing a lifelong agreement. It's worth trillions of dollars, billions of dollars. Here's another one here that is absolutely vital for you to see. As I said before, this is the establishment agreement. But look at the cover of what Africa is doing. This is the establishment agreement that people of African descent have agreed to and African countries are now agreeing to. Here is the cover of that particular agreement that we are exceedingly proud of. This is one of the first agreements that we signed in Africa. This is with the Republic of Congo. And the Republic of Congo, by the way, has now been, just a couple of weeks ago, just a couple of days ago, is now being noted as the third wealthiest and most powerful crude oil producing area on the planet. Trillions of dollars in oil jobs, cooperation, and things of that nature that's out there. Take a look at this. Google Frank Weston Congo, and you will get much, much, much more. Google Frank Weston IMSCO, much, much, much more there. And this is not, by the way, it's not about Frank Weston. I simply will not put all of our people's names out there to be harassed. We have ourselves here an African Inheritance War, and we ask you and all of us, let's work together, let's team, let's partner. African Union, give us a call. Let's sit down, let's talk.